It is a declaration by President William Ruto that he okayed the deal with the US on that establishment of the quarantine facility for Ebola in Kenyan soil that features on the front page of the Daily Nation under the headline, Ruto, I allowed US to bring Ebola patients. Yes, you know they're not bringing suspected Ebola cases, they're bringing confirmed. This will be officially probably the first Ebola case confirmed on Kenyan soil when it does happen.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, owning up, President Ruto acknowledges he accepted the request by President Trump for Kenya to host a quarantine and treatment facility for Americans exposed to Ebola at Laikipia Air Base. Actually, Laikipia Air Base is a Kenyan base.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Nanyuki. This is despite a court order. High Court extends orders blocking the setting up of the Ebola isolation unit. Lakini ni nani ataenda kupeana hiyo order kusavu kwa Laikipia Air Base waambiwe hiyo facility hatutaki? Who will present that court order? Too little, too late. US official says Saturday's court decree came as flights carrying American specialists and kits were airborne and confirms foundation works on Ebola unit. It's already there. Yeah. The US has confirmed, and if you listen to the President William Ruto keenly, that facility is already there. Yeah. Because if they're bringing kits and specialists, see the facility is there already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hawezi leta zikae kwa tent saa ati wakijenga, if it's whatever structure, the structure is already there, the center is there, wanaleta tu vitu tayari na zisha land.
I don't know if it's the US ambassador to Kenya, because he was responding to this and he said so far there's no confirmed case of, there's no US citizen who has been exposed to Ebola who needs that transfer to Kenya as at yet. The
first case was transferred to Germany. Their first case from DRC, they took that patient to Germany, and then they had other cases. I think they took them to Turkey or Czechoslovakia or some other country huko. Lakini sasa wamesema hakuna haja kupeleka watu mbali sana. Sema mtu akipata accidents hapa utamkimbiza mbali, atunampeleka huko Kitui ama Masakusi, kuna hospitali hapa.
Yes.
Karibu. And that picture there on the front page, Ebola resistance, a few Kenyan protesters, because many people say they did not come across, many people in the city say they did not come across these demonstrators. So they were marching in Nairobi yesterday, carrying a coffin written Ebola, protesting against that US-backed Ebola quarantine facility being established at the Laikipia Air Base in Nanyuki to host Americans exposed to Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So now it's going to be at the Laikipia Air Base, which is a Kenyan facility. Yeah, it is not at the Batuk, because they also have Batuk around that area in Nanyuki, and I don't think there's a US military base there. So it's the Laikipia Air Base. Pali jets huwa zinatoka zinarudi. Zile zinakuja national. Muliziona kule Mashujaa Day Wajir. Huko ndio facility inapelekwa.
Yeah.
The other big story on the front page of the Daily Nation, why state wants Utumishi Arson suspects detained. That story is on page 2. Finally, of course, as expected, they covered their faces with masks and hooded jackets. 9 Form 3 students. They're all from Form 3. They're still in custody.
So they're 9, because initially we were reporting.
According to this paper, they are 9.
Yeah.
9 Form 3 students accused of involvement in the dormitory fire that killed 16 people will know today whether they will remain in custody as police complete investigations. So the magistrate is going to make a declaration on whether or not they can be held longer or they can be released on bail pending investigations. But anyway, I can just imagine the agony of a parent who took his child or her child to school just a few weeks ago. Now they have to sit in court and see their child inside the dock.
Yeah.
Accused of murder.
What
do you do? And you can actually see other parents whose children died in that attack, who also there in court seeking justice, saying, funga ama sentence them, and it's your child. That's a different kind of pain.
You know, I was listening to a conversation that a child is a reflection of the parent. So I don't know how that will sit with you if at all you are a parent to a child who's now at the dock.
But that's a bit harsh on the parents.
It is harsh, but
why would you lay the blame on the parents now? Amepeleka mtoto shule mzuri, mtoto akaamua kukua tu rogue.
Acha nikwambia mchapi watoto siku hizi. Let me tell you, at Form 3, you know, because they're Form 3, right?
Yes.
15, 16. At Form 3, what I was thinking about back then was just how I would get new uniforms and how I'd go to find kids.
Anyway.
Times have changed.
Times have changed, definitely. All right, there's an American official who has defended the Ebola facility. That story is on page 5 as well. Nataka kuangalia kuna siasa pale. How Sifuna wave is rattling old guard in Western Kenya. And Orange Party turns to South Africa's ANC for nomination lessons. Wameenda South Africa down south. ANC ndio chama wanatafuta iwafunze jinsi ya kuwa na chama kizuri.
Wow. Ile moja ilimezwa.
Ile ANC, lakini koti iliwaambia hapana, mjamezwa vizuri.
Rudini huko.
Wakakasirika sana. Meanwhile, UDA usually goes to China to learn from the Communist Party of China. Now, ODM is learning from ANC.
ANC moja ambayo ilimezwa.
Si ile ANC ya huku Kenya. ANC ya South Africa. Ile ya Mandela.
Okay.
So they're talking about a rising ocean which has swallowed the coastline. Wasema water levels are rising. And some farming communities living near the ocean have been forced to move elsewhere in recent years. This story is highlighted on the front page, but it's on page 10 of this paper. Back page, there's a sad story on page 13 of a GSU officer who died after Madaraka Day celebration. He was part of the parade. And he just collapsed and died. That story is on page 13. Back page. World Rugby Sevens on the brink. Shujaa poised for qualification to Division 1. Sema Kenya only need to reach quarterfinals in France to secure a return to world's top flight. Yes. The 2016 Singapore Sevens winning captain Andrew Amonde knows too well. Nasikia kuna wachokozi wanatafuta habari ya Arsenal. Tukianza watati. Mwachane na sisi. We've rested kidogo. We'll be back after a while. So we are talking about the World Cup in the US, Mexico and Canada and also World Rugby Sevens. But mkitaka tuzungumzie Arsenal.
You know, they hate Arsenal more than they love their team.
Hata timu zao zimesaulika. That's the Daily Nation today.
Wewe director Kanash, focus wewe. Taifa Leo, Ebola, serikali ya kabwa koo. Serikali ya Rais William Ruto inaendelea kuwekewa pressure baada ya mahakama kuu kuamuru Wizara ya Afya kufichua maelezo kamili ya mpango unaohusisha kuanzishwa kwa kituo cha karantini na matibabu ya Ebola kwa raia wa Amerika nchini Kenya. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili wa gazeti hili. Koti yapiga breki kituo cha karantini, wa Kenya walalama wa wabunge Amerika wakichemka. All right.
Unasikia they're quoting representatives in the US, probably congressmen, senators and stuff like that. Wewe umesikia wabunge hapa Kenya wakizungumzia? Wamenyamaza hiyo story, hakuna mtu anazungumzia hiyo karantini.
Si wanangoja go ahead.
Lakini in the US they've already discussed it and they're disagreeing because they're debating it in the House.
So they don't want it here in Kenya?
Some they are divided, opinion is divided on whether or not they should have a facility in Kenya or probably in DRC. But in Kenya, bunge hata hawajui kama kuna hiyo kitu. Hawajui, hawajasikia.
Nakumbuka that report 2 weeks ago. The 13th Parliament might be the most detached.
Yes. Actually, some of the members I heard them arguing that, you know, it's Uhuru Kenyatta who signed that deal. Well, President William Ruto has confirmed he okayed the deal. Sasa utasema, no, ni mbunge elected. Once again, I feel like saying, shame on the Parliament of Kenya. Shame on you. Unfortunately, we have to say it.
Finya kabisa.
Nimenyamaza.
Vidokezo zaidi. ODM yaenda Afrika Kusini kunoa makali. Yes. Kamati ya uchaguzi inaenda kujifunza jinsi ANC inaendesha uteuzi wa wagombeaji wake. Ni ANC ya huko, si ya huku kwetu.
Hiyo huku ilimezwa. Utaitafuta uikose.
Interesting. Ruto ageukia KDF kumaliza miradi mikuu. Jeshi la twikwa hadhi hiyo kutokana na imani kwamba lina nidhamu, utaalamu na kuzingatia ubora unaohitajika. Upinzani sasa motoni, OB akiwania urais. Mwanasiasa wa Nigeria Peter Obi atangaza nia yake kuwania urais Januari wa kutishia kugawanya upinzani. Alright. Kule juu zaidi, Sifuna watikisa siasa za vigogo wa magharibi, azua changamoto kwa viongozi wa zamani wa eneo hilo, Musalia Mudavadi na spika wa bunge la kitaifa Moses Wetangula. Yes, habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 3. Taifa Leo.
Okay. Siasa za upande wa magharibi Kenya ni siasa nzuri sana.
Elusive.
Zinachekesha. Twende kwa gazeti la The Standard. Still focusing on the Ebola outbreak. So take them home is the headline. And they say this is a firestorm. Some of America's leading public health experts have joined growing criticism on the Ebola quarantine center in Kenya as the opposition, courts and activists step up their resistance. So former CDC officials, infectious disease physicians and epidemiologists have warned US leaders that sending Ebola-exposed Americans to Laikipia would be a dangerous break from long-standing medical practice, raising profound clinical, ethical, operational and legal concerns. Yeah. As President William Ruto defends the deal, the experts say citizens ought to be treated in the US or at the source of the infection. And this is the same argument even with some of the legislators in the US. They're saying, if the problem is in DRC, then set up a quarantine facility in DRC at the source of the problem. Why transport them out, cross borders to another place where they have never been, they've never experienced Ebola? Yeah. It's either there or, as a responsible country, if it is your citizens who are affected, go pick them, fly them home. Take them home, and that's what the standard is saying. Take them home. Yeah. Sio lazima wapeleke kwa wenyewe. Wapeleke nyumbani.
Hii inakaa uchokozi sasa yenyewe.
Gani hiyo?
Hiyo kuwaleta hapa Kenya. Hiyo ni uchokozi.
Okay. By the way, hata ukiangalia, what is the justification of taking infected people from where they are and bringing them to Kenya? Yeah.
Nothing can justify that. You say, what is the justification? Nothing can justify that act. Nothing. Because they're saying that, you know, this is for Kenyans as well. Kenyans have never reported any case of Ebola.
This one, the quarantine facility is specifically for American citizens. That is clear. Let's get it clear. It is not a quarantine facility for Kenyans. It's for American citizens who get infected in the DRC. Yeah. But
you know, the health sector wanasema this is to also strengthen the Kenya's healthcare, you know, space.
After this
outbreak. This quarantine facility here.
So after the outbreak, that facility will be of benefit to Kenyans. Well, that's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
So in future, if we have Ebola, we'll have a quarantine facility.
Yeah.
Abandoned by the Americans. Yeah. So that's the only story on the front page of the Standard.
Yeah.
Ruto ordered to reveal Ebola deal details as US experts raise alarm. Yeah, now people are demanding. The court is actually demanding to know what exactly is in that deal. Yeah. In fact, that's a demand by the court. That's why they extended the order that, okay, fine, can we see the agreement? Can we see the deal? What exactly is this you're talking about? That story is on page 2. Yeah. All right. Families mourn loved ones as calm returns to Nanyuki town. At least one person was shot dead in that protest the day before yesterday. And it's just sad. Yeah. 12.7 billion shilling budget deficit puts at risk teachers' SHA medical insurance. Another story. Alafu Raila's bodyguard amerudi hapa. He's back on page 5. Raila's bodyguard, ule anaitwa Morris Ogeta, recounts final moments during India walk. And still memories of the late Raila Odinga. Yes, they've also made mention on page 7 of what is happening to the Arson suspects at Tumishi. And on page 8, check out the person who's expected to be the next US ambassador to Kenya. Page 8. So a lot of US discussions here and there. On the back page, yes, and now Matter Sports is purely about the World Cup. Chelsea's French star ready to attack World Cup with gusto. He's called Malo Gusto. I like that headline. That's a Standard this morning. All
right. I've grabbed the Star copy this morning because it's also talking about Ebola. U.S. House team opposes Ebola quarantine project. And there's that photo, the mock photo, the coffins, the medical Ebola that you're talking about when we're starting. This story has been captured on page 8 of the Star this morning. And they're saying that the committee warned against the Trump administration shifting America's public health burden abroad. They're quoted here. They say our government has a responsibility to help Americans abroad. Yeah. The U.S. already has domestic facilities specifically designed to safely care for Ebola patients. The Trump administration should bring Americans home and help them, not outsource that responsibility to a foreign government.
Kwa nini wa Kenya ndo wanafanya hiyo kazi?
Yes.
Something funny about the US though. they issued a travel advisory to their citizens in Kenya. Wanasema beware of protests. Yeah. Musikaribie protesters nini. But meanwhile the facility ya kuleta watu wa Ebola ni sawa.
Yeah.
America very interesting. That's clear. America first.
America first. Eriwa waki. Kule other quick headlines here on the front page of the Star. Why Somali vote shaping as game changer in Ruto 2027 two-term bid. And this story is on page 4 and 5. President has employed a multi-pronged tactic to war region. That is the northeastern region. Court to rule on Utumishi, 9 probe teams, time appeal. Shame of using pieces of mattress as sanitary towels in 2026.
Very sad.
That's the story on page 10. And that's the Star.
All right, on the People Daily, they talk about fire on the mountain, the number of protests recorded there, and I think specifically referring to the one in Nanyuki, protesting against the setting up of that quarantine facility. So they say, often known for political maturity and tolerating divergent views, a region has recently seen protests end in violence, death, and looting, begging the question, why is Mount Kenya so angry? A story on page 4 of the People Daily. You have the Business Daily.
All right. Okay, new formula dims hope of June diesel price cuts. Fresh rule to base June review on costly April global prices, and state promised 10 shillings per litre cut on cost of diesel. That story is on page 2. PayPal freezes and blocks Kenya accounts on dirty cash fears. That's another story captured on page 2. On the ticker, company-sponsored medical covers in pain. Cheaper deposits lift banks' pre-tax profits 13.6% to 83.5 billion shillings. And that's the Business Daily this morning.
All right, let's go to the regional papers. And today is Uganda Martyrs Day. You know that story about the martyrs who were executed on orders of Kabaka Mwanga. So the Daily Monitor today talks about that on the front page. Wamesahau Among sasa. Anita Among amesaulika, ule speaker ameleta vurugu sana. So on the front page of the Daily Monitor, martyrs, saints or villains? That's what they're asking. Yeah, the Uganda martyrs are revered by Christians worldwide as a shining example of faith in God. However, some regard them as traitors who committed treason against Kabaka Mwanga II, arguing that executions were just punishment. So they're focusing on the Martyrs' Day. On the front page of the Daily Monitor, on the front page of the New Vision, still in Uganda, government tightens rules on district tenders. Local farms, youth, women and persons with disabilities to benefit, more or less like what we see in Kenya. But do they get to benefit? That's the question. Tuvuke boda tuingie Tanzania. Gazeti la Kwanza Tanzania kule tuanze na The Citizen talks about 5.1 trillion shilling debt in Tanzanian money. Yeah. Payment plan shapes budget priorities. They're also anticipating presentation of the Tanzanian budget next week, same date as Kenya, presenting the budget statement by the CS for Treasury. That will happen on 11th of next week.
11th of this month.
Oh, of this month.
Not
yeah,
next
11th, which is next week.
Yes.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Tukiangazia gazeti la Mwananchi, tukisalia kule Bongo, habari kuu pale ni ya kisiasa, siri mchungaji Msigwa akurudi Chadema. And I can see Chadema inarudi pole pole kwa kurasa za mbele za magazeti ya kule Tanzania. All right, so those are the local and regional dailies this morning. Let's come back and take a look at the cartoons today.